Hi Virgo, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. How are you doing? We just experienced eclipse season, 3 eclipses in 1 month. And that's rare, we're used to it only being 2. So, how are you doing? I hope that you're well. Why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about the stars for a minute? I asked in an earlier video, if my viewers and subscribers would like a Jupiter in Libra series for each of the zodiac signs. I got a very positive response to that, so I decided to schedule the Jupiter in Libra video information with this new moon in Libra information, since it will be occurring in the same house energy, and I can explain kind of what's going on. So let's do that. On the 9th of September, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, increase, and excess, moved into Libra, which is a cardinal air sign that is known for being balanced, harmonious, and reconciliatory, but also they're known for being indecisive, unbalanced, and flighty. This occurred for you in the second house that's ruled by Taurus, and that is a house that speaks to your values. It's your money, it's your earning ability, it's your possessions, and it's your self-esteem. So this placement, this transit will be occurring until October 2017. So there's going to be an extended stay of Jupiter in your second house. You could be seeing more money come your way or more earning opportunities coming your way. That will help build your self-esteem and also help you to acquire more possessions, which all seem to be very positive indicators with Jupiter moving into the second house. Now, on the 30th of September or the 1st of October, depending on where you live on the globe, we will be experiencing a new black moon in Libra at 8 degrees. Now, black moon is just the second new moon in a calendar month, very much like the blue moon phenomena, where it is a full moon or 2 full moons in a calendar month. The first moon would be irregular, the second would be the blue moon. Anyways, and that occurred for us earlier in the year. We had a blue moon, I think, in May. Regardless, this black new moon is a powerful time for new beginnings in your partnerships and relationships, dealing with your earning ability, your money, how you value yourself and your possessions, and your self-esteem. So, very powerful time for you in that area. It looks like a lot of good things are coming your way, and I couldn't be happier for you. Let's see what the Halloween Oracle deck by Stacey DeMarco has to say to you about this new moon in Libra as well. I'm being a little festive, starting off the Halloween season a little bit early in these videos, but for those of you who are new to the channel, in October of 2014, I had a devastating house fire and I lost everything, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth about Halloween for a little bit. I'm over it. I'm feeling Halloween again. So, you know, forgive me. I'm a little exuberant when it comes to it now. Like I said, I'm shuffling my Halloween Oracle cards for you. This is a brand new deck for me. I got it for myself as a reward for reaching 2,000 subscribers. And it was right around the end of September when I found this deck. And once I put it in my hands, I knew I wasn't going to be able to leave the store without it. So, I now have a new Oracle deck, and y'all are also a part of that because I only get these when I hit milestones. So, thank you for being here, and let me go ahead and cut for you, Virgo. Also, I apologize about the other Virgo video getting lost in the internet somewhere. We are in Mercury retrograde in Virgo still. Mercury is not moving retrograde. Mercury is moving forward, but is still in its post-retrograde shadow. So, as a consolation prize for having your video come out last, even though it wasn't scheduled that way, I'm going to pull an extra oracle card for you from this deck. So let's see what you got, Virgo. The first card is the forgiveness card. And for me, I love this card. It's very pretty. It looks like a magnolia flower to me, but also it could be a lotus. It just depends on how you want to see it. Forgiveness reads at the bottom, releasing burdens. This could be you getting forgiveness or giving forgiveness, just depending. Watch your sun, your moon, and your rising sign for other messages to see what may come forward for you. The second card that you received is the Dawn card, the light after the darkness. And it also has a big owl on the front, so I would recommend looking up or Googling the spirit symbology for an owl, or the spirit totem meaning for the owl. In my Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, there is an owl card that has be the hunter, not the hunted. So now is a time for you to go out and stake your claim and not wait. It's a time of action for you. The third card that you received is the Underworld, and it reads, where all things pause and begin again. I think that this is very indicative to the solar eclipse, the new moon solar eclipse that we had at the very beginning of September in your sign, Virgo. I think this was a pause for you to reassess and readjust and look and see where you want changes to occur in your personal life, because it was in your first house that this eclipse occurred in. It was a new moon solar eclipse, so it was a powerful time for initiating new beginnings for you. You also may want to look up the symbology for what pomegranates mean, because there's a juicy pomegranate in front of this skull, which is representing the pause that took place. The final card that you received is the Zombie card, which is speaking to a need of control or for control. Because you are who you are, Virgo, I'm going to say this is probably speaking to your need for control. So let's watch this new moon period of time. It's a good thing to be authoritative. It's a good thing to be decisive. It's a good thing to be a leader. It is a bad thing to be a control freak. Control freaks, it comes from a bad place. Let's not go there. Let's see what the book wants to say about these cards. The first card being the Forgiveness card. Forgiveness reads, being a cold season festival, Halloween is a perfect time to pause and think about how things are actually in our lives and what heavy burdens we do not wish to carry through the harder, leaner times. Some of this heavy-heartedness may relate to old relationships or grievances. Some may relate to negative feelings as we hold on tightly about others, and even a lack of compassion for the mistakes we ourselves have made. It is said that it takes a bigger person to apologize, but in many ways, it takes an even bigger person to forgive. When we hold grudges, the negative energy is incredibly toxic. It is like drinking a poison while expecting the other unforgiven person to die. While we may even harbor feelings of revenge, it is important that we move past those feelings along to forgiveness and release as soon as possible for our own health and well-being. If you have chosen this card, think about who it is that you should or could be forgiving, and that includes yourself. The second card that you received is Dawn, and once again, it's always darkest before dawn. It reads the light after the darkness, and I encourage you to look up the spirit totem symbology for the owl, or the animal totem symbology, the spirit animal symbology of the owl, and it also makes me want to tell you to be the hunter, not the hunted, my dear Virgos. Dawn reads, while midnight is often thought of as a magical hour, throughout time, dawn has also had its share of the mystical. All manner of magical beings had to return to their true forms by dawn. werewolves, for example, and vampires could only be active while the rays of the sun did not pierce the sky. Dawn and deities of dawn heralded both hope and new life. Goddesses and gods were those who brought new life and the dawn's light to the world. The journey from the darkest night of the soul to the bright and hopeful dawn is one of the deepest and most powerful heroes' paths repeated over and over in mythology. So should you receive the Dawn card, you are being reminded that there is always a fresh start and a new beginning to be had. Change is unstoppable, and even in the most difficult times, know that they will pass, no matter how devastating that they may seem. Hope is one of the most powerful and motivating forces in the universe, and it's being indicated to you here. The next card that you received is the Underworld. You also may want to look up what the symbology of pomegranates could bring. I can't speak, y'all. You also may want to eat pomegranates. Always good for you. Rich in antioxidants and all sorts of other wonderful things that I can't list for you right now off the top of my head. It may also be speaking to you just watching your diet and adding more fruits and vegetables on a very mundane level. But let's see what the guidebook says. The underworld, where all things pause and begin again. The idea of an underworld, the whole realm that we go to after we die, is a concept that crosses a huge variety of cultures and eras. The Sumerians, the Turkish, the Incas, the Greeks, through to the Siberians and the Khmers, the Maori, all had a distinct word for the underworld, and what is different is how those cultures treat this concept. Whether the underworld was seen as a place of rest and rejuvenation or horror and punishment. The Christian hell is a place of darkness, fire, and punishment. The Egyptian underworld is one of judgment, peace, and renewal. In the Maori culture, it is an in-between place of waiting, wisdom, and transition. Many myths that mention the underworld often involve the concept of a place of waiting, of trials, and eventual judgment. It can also be a place of joy and peace. So should the underworld card be present today in your reading, you are being asked to consider exactly what you have to do to transform your life into something you find easier or more authentic to you. This may involve changing course. It may involve trials and tests, but you should keep moving. While things may fall away and your life may appear bare for a time, remember this is temporary and space is being made into which you can create the new. The final card that you received is the Zombie card, and that speaks to control. Either your need for control or someone's control over you, someone or something's control over you. The Zombie card reads, zombies have become quite the fashion recently, much like vampires. Just turn on the television and you can't escape the moaning and groaning of these, the living dead. There are even public zombie walks where people dress up as zombies and appear en masse on roads and in cities. But zombies are not merely a fun icon of popular culture. Traditionally, they are mainly associated with the African and Haitian voodoo religion. Zombies are said to be dead bodies reanimated by incantations chanted by a learned practitioner, and they are usually enlivened for a purpose. The practitioner is said to capture a part of the living soul and animate the body, a living soul to animate the living body, and that it is always a temporary action, and the soul cannot be contained in that decomposing body for it long, or God will take the soul back. One of the most frightening aspects of the idea of zombieism is the idea of our souls and conscious being trapped inside another body that does not do our bidding but for someone else. Another is the idea of being buried alive, the fate of some, it is said, who get trapped in already dead bodies. Should the zombie step unsteadily into your life, it's time to look at the concept of control. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not your equal so that they are more easily manipulated and changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how you can change that, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed this mini Halloween oracle card reading. I hope that you have many bright, wonderful blessings for you at this black new moon in Libra. Remember, my dear Virgos, that this will be occurring for you in your second house. Jupiter will be here until October of 2017, and the new moon is a perfect time for you to seed new seeds for planting and yielding a harvest, hopefully within the end of the month or a little bit later than that, for your values, your money, your earning ability, and self-esteem. So take care of yourself, dear Virgo. Please be kind to yourself and save some of that kindness for others, because we're all fighting private battles in our world, and some of us may never speak to another living soul about it. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you for the October readings. Thank you so much for being here, and namaste, y'all.